Good morning, Robert. Happy Wednesday. I hope you're having a really good week, buddy. I think you noticed I maybe look like the exact same as I did in the last video because I'm having to record a lot in a row today because I'm not going to be home. So I hope you're having a really good day, really good Wednesday, and I hope the heat is still treating you well, and I hope that everyone is still healthy at home. Let's jump right in with your Go Noodle Flow.
Melting, melting, melting. We all have those moments when we freeze. We can't move. We can't think. But with practice, we can get good at melting that frozen feeling. Let's freeze up and then melt. Stand up in a spot with a little space around you. Cross your arms and hold your shoulders with your hands. Carefully tuck your chin down and in. Tighten as many muscles in your body as you can. Let your body be frozen, like an ice statue. Feet tight, legs tense, belly tight, shoulders up. Now, even make a frozen face. Close your eyes, your mouth, your jaw, tight. Feeling frozen? Really still? Now, little by little, begin to melt. Let your chin stay low as your face softens and melts. Your jaw opens slightly, your eyes blink open, just a little. Your mouth and cheeks melt and feel soft. You're melting. Let your shoulders melt and go down. Hands let go. Arms glide down to your sides, melting. Let your legs melt too. Soften and bend. Melt. Try to melt all the way to the floor. Down, down, down. Let yourself be a blob, a puddle on the floor. Melted all the way to soft. Exhale long. Once frozen and tight, and now melted, a little more at ease. Let's do it again. This time, choose your own frozen statue. Be creative. Freeze your arms. Freeze your legs. Freeze your face. Make a funny face if you'd like. Freeze there. Tighten. Freeze, freeze, freeze. You're frozen. Close your eyes or keep them open. Stay frozen for just one more moment. Ready to melt? One icy part of you at a time begins to melt. Face, eyes, jaw, head, chin goes down, shoulders drop, fingers soften and droop, hands too, arms float down. You are melting. Let your legs allow you to melt down to the floor. Melt, 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 droop, settle, and rest. Melt it. Try to feel at ease here. Soft. Check in on your body. Is any area still frozen? Notice that tightness. Melt it if you wish. Rest here. Breathe. Eyes are open or closed. Next time you feel frozen, in your mind or in your body, try to melt it away.
Wonderful. I hope you're feeling all ready to work here, buddy. I know I am. I'm in the zone. Let's jump in and do our letters and our numbers, pal. Here we go. Okay. We've got our numbers. The number one of my favorites, because there's only one Robert Bercy, and you, sir, have one heart, one nose, and one mouth. There's only one Robert, the number 1. 2. Robert, you have 2 eyes, you have 2 ears, and you have 2 lungs that help you breathe. The number 2. 1 and 2. The next one is the number 3. You see on our slide, there's all those silly aliens that have lots of different numbers of things. 3 eyeballs, 6 arms, 6 eyes, lots of silly things. We don't have 3 of anything because we're humans, we're not aliens. The number 3, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, and 3. Perfect. Next is the number 4. If we take our 2 hands and our 2 feet, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, the number 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the number 4. And next up, our number 5 to give a high 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. High 5. We'll move them over. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. High 5. Make sure you're giving your mom a high 5. Jump over to the letters of your name, our favorite name. We have the R, 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 the R sound for R, R, Robert. Next up is the O, the A sound for Ra, Albert. Then we're in the middle of your name, the B sound for Ra, B, B, Bert. The B sound for Ra, B, B, Bert. And then we remember that our E and our R have to go together because together the E and the R make the sound for Rob, ert. And lastly, the T sound that ends Robert, T, R-O-B-E-R-T, R-O-B-E-R-T. Robert, that's you. So I've done our numbers and our letters, and I want to make sure that you're practicing those on your iPad with your stars, making all those noises. We make each one of our numbers and our letters, so make sure you're doing that, buddy. Let's listen to when the band comes marching in. Here we go.
Oh, when the drum comes marching in. Oh, when the drum comes marching in. It goes. When the drum comes marching in. Oh, when the tuba comes marching in. Oh, when the tuba comes marching in. It goes. When the tuba comes marching in. Oh, when the trumpet comes marching in. Oh, when the trumpet comes marching in. It goes. When the trumpet comes marching in. Oh, when the trombone comes marching in. Oh, when the trombone comes marching in. It goes. When the trombone comes marching in. Oh, when the clarinet comes marching in. Oh, when the clarinet comes marching in. It goes. When the clarinet comes marching in. Oh, when the flute comes marching in. Oh, when the flute comes marching in. It goes. When the flute comes marching in. Oh, when the cymbal comes marching in. Oh, when the cymbal comes marching in. It goes. When the cymbal comes marching in. Oh, when the band comes marching in. Oh, when the band comes marching in. It goes. When the band comes marching in. When the band comes marching
stuff with that song, one of our favorites. The last thing we're going to listen to today, so
This is not a
the instrument for today is the accordion. The accordion is a pretty cool looking instrument. We'll be able to see a picture of it or a video of it in just a few minutes. We're going to read a story. It's a little bit long, but the name of the story is Mendel's Accordion. I hope you enjoyed as much as I did. Here we go.
Mendel's Accordion by Heidi Smith Hyde, with illustrations by Johanna van der Ster. All right, here we go. Mendel lived in a small village called Milnitsa. He didn't have much: a hut, a cow, a rooster, some hens, and an accordion. It wasn't a fancy accordion. Nothing about Mendel was fancy. It had worn black buttons up and down the sides for Mendel's busy fingers, and big folds in the middle like a lady's fan. Mendel pumped those folds with his strong arms, pushing the air in and out, turning it into music. Mendel made beautiful music with that accordion. Everywhere he went, people said, "Play for us, Mendel." And Mendel did. He went from town to town, village to village. Others joined him along the way. Soon, Mendel found himself in a band. Yankel played the fiddle, Herschel played the clarinet, Jaime played the drums, Zalman played the flute, and Schmelke played the cello. Together, they were known as the Klezmorim. The Klezmorim never stayed in one place for too long. They went from town to town, village to village. Everywhere they went, people said, "Play for us, Klezmorim." And they did. They played at weddings and festivals and fairs. They played happy music. They played sad music. People laughed. People cried. The village was alive with the sounds of the Klezmorim. Then one day, people stopped laughing. Life was hard in the village, and there was never enough food. It was so hard that Mendel decided to leave Milnitsa. He sold his hut, he sold his cow, he sold his rooster, he sold his hens. Mendel boarded a boat for America, taking only his accordion with him. On the boat, Mendel met other Klezmorim. There was Motel from Moscow, Itzik from Odessa, and Pinchas from Pinsk. Motel played the clarinet, Itzik played the violin, and Pinchas played the flute. "Soon we will be in America," they said. "Soon we will be in the Golden Land." But the boat ride seemed to last forever, and 2 weeks seemed like 2 years as the boat rose and fell and the cold winds blew. "Come, let us do something," said Mendel as the passengers groaned and grumbled along with the boat. He couldn't bear to see everyone so unhappy. And so Mendel from Milnitsa played his accordion, Motel from Moscow played his clarinet, Itzik from Odessa played his violin, and Pinchas from Pinsk played his flute. Though their stomachs churned, they played and played and played some more. They played happy music. They played sad music. People laughed. People cried. The boat was alive with the sounds of the Klezmorim. It was like being back home in Milnitsa. Finally, they reached America, and Mendel and his new friends boarded a ferry for New York. They were tired and cold, and their bodies ached from the long journey. "It's crowded here," remarked Pinchas when they arrived in New York. "I've never seen so many people." Clutching his accordion, Mendel had to agree. There were no rolling hills or peaceful farmhouses or wandering chickens, just rows and rows of brick buildings and lots of people who spoke a different language. "Don't worry," said Mendel. "We will all find jobs and a place to live. America will be good to us. You'll see." "Mendel is right," agreed Itzik. "We will all find good jobs and a place to live." And so they did. Mendel found a job mending shoes. Model and Pinchas worked in a rope factory, and Itzik played his violin in a minstrel show. They all lived together on the Lower East Side of New York. Mendel worked long hours. The city was big. The apartment was small. But Mendel was happy. He had good friends and a good job and a place to live. Soon he had a wife too. Her name was Reitzel, and like Mendel, she was from the old country. Reitzel loved listening to Mendel's accordion. Sometimes, after a long day at work, he would serenade her in the kitchen. He played happy music. He played sad music. Reitzel laughed. Reitzel cried. The little apartment was alive with the sounds of the klezmorim. As the years passed, Mendel's accordion continued to delight his growing family. His son Isaac loved singing along with the music. His son Aaron loved to dance wildly in the middle of the room. And baby Rose just sat on her mother's lap and listened quietly to the funny Yiddish words. During the day, there was work, but at night, there was music. Always music. Sometimes Model, Itzik, and Pinchas came over and played together just like the old days. It was like being back home in Melnitsa. Years passed, and before Mendel knew it, his children had grown up. Just like Mendel, they loved music, only a different kind of music. Mendel's son Isaac liked jazz. His granddaughter Rachel played swing, and his great-grandson Samuel loved rock and roll. Nobody listened to Mendel's accordion anymore. Melnitsa was but a distant memory. Then, one day, Samuel was rummaging around in the attic when he made a wonderful discovery. A dusty, old accordion with worn black buttons up and down the sides and big folds in the middle like a lady's fan. It was so dusty and old that it needed to be repaired. The man at the music shop said it probably hadn't been played in more than 50 years. It was a wonder he got it to work at all. Samuel had heard stories of his great-grandfather Mendel and his remarkable klezmorim. "I'm going to learn to play this accordion," he told his family. "I'm going to learn to play it just like Mendel." And so Samuel practiced and practiced some more. Soon, he found himself in a band. Leon played the fiddle, Barry played the clarinet, Stephen played the drums, Ellen played the flute, and Andrew played the cello. Together, they were known as the New Klezmorim. Everywhere they went, people said, "Play for us, Klezmorim." And they did. They played at weddings and anniversaries. They played happy music. They played sad music. People laughed, people cried, but mostly they smiled. The new world was alive with the sounds of the Klezmorim. The end. Thanks for joining me for Mendel's Accordion. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. This has been Rebels Connect Storytime series, brought to you by Rebels Entertainment.
Told you that was a good one. I really like that story a lot. I hope you had a really good day, buddy. I will see you tomorrow. Have a great Wednesday. Bye, Robert.